a child that was literally butchered in Barnabas. The issue of security in Nakuru is getting out of hand. We do not have enough policemen. We do not have even motorcycles. The station at Pakawa, which is shared between myself and Honorable Gikaria and Honorable Njoki in Bahati, has no single motorcycle, not a vehicle, and gangs are roaming day and night, Mr. Speaker. So I would wish that the CS Interior, through the chair of the committee here, takes very serious cognizance of the issues happening in Nakuru, and that killing of that police officer should be a wake-up call to what is happening, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minority Whip. Yes, your point of order? Or point of information, you said? Okay. What's your point?
Call it point of clarification. I know the standing orders are sometimes misleading. Mr. Speaker, taking into account the seriousness of this issue, considering the answer given by the chair, taking into account the limitations by chairs of committees in getting proper, responsive answers, will I be right to suggest to the Honorable Samuel and other affected members to file a petition through this House, have it referred to the committee, allow for public engagement, so that in that process, the committee will be in a position to write a report that will reflect on the evidence on the ground, so that this House gets also an opportunity to get an answer that befits the situation that you are describing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Miri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my concern is that there is an alarming rise in cases of femicide. Many young girls are being found dead. Just two, I think last week, 2 girls in Siaya were found dead. One a school student who was called God knows by who, and then she was found raped and murdered. Mr. Speaker, I know the President has tried and given some money towards sensitization, but Mr. Speaker, when the security agencies are very minded in finding the culprits, they act fast. Mr. Speaker, would I be in order to ask that they prioritize the issue of gender-based violence? We are losing a lot of our young girls. And so that when you have such cases, in the same way that we are moving with a lot of speed over other crimes, we should move with the same speed to arrest the culprits. Otherwise, they will continue murdering girls because they know they can get away with it. Thank you.
Honorable members and Honorable Dr. Makali, what exactly do you want to raise?
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. I just wanted to write on the issue raised by the 2 honorable members, and this is the issue of security in most of our areas, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Gachagua has said something which also touched my issue. He says he has given the police even the numbers of the people suspected to have committed this criminal act. And Honorable Speaker, this has become very common, Honorable Speaker, that even where we come from, you give information to the police in confidence, but nothing happens. While we appreciate the limitations with our chair, because he's our colleague, I think, Honorable Speaker, it's important. I don't know whether other than a petition, I think a question could be better so that we get the CS coming to this House to respond to some of our issues. Because I think generally it looks like there's a problem with the security issues in this country, and unless we address them early enough, Honorable Speaker,
fair enough,
we are likely to face serious challenges.
You made your point. Honorable Kenan, and for the benefit of the members of Parliament, you don't have to have a petition for the committee to do exhaustive investigation, to invite members of Parliament, to invite minister, to invite anybody. So I think the Honorable Tongoyo, are you hearing me? I was trying to get Momuse to leave your side of the house so that it doesn't, somebody else has come now to. Kiborek.
Honorable Speaker, as right one, I want really to...
My position is this.
Yes.
You don't have to have, there doesn't have to be a petition for you.
No, I agree. I'm in agreement.
to investigate this.
What I'm saying, Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
maybe before I respond to or I also add my voice on that, for my colleague, I really share in the frustration. But it's good, Honorable Speaker, we will appreciate the complicity in these crimey things. They come in different ways. The majority of these perpetrators are expert. They kind of conceal their footprints. But what I want to suggest, Honorable Speaker, as it is for now, we have more than 10 list of statements being sought from different members in this House. And of late, we kind of the opinion that we may call the CS to appear before the committee because we can be able to have an interactive. And all those members probably who are not satisfied or who even we could list as having statements that need more engagement, we can able to give them to appear before the committee and the CS so that we can able to have a more robust interrogation. So that is what my suggestion, Honorable Speaker, need you indulgence on them on the same.
Done sufficient ventilation on this matter, and the chair will do the needful. So let's go to the next one. The next one is the response is education. Is the chair of education around? Is the chair of education around? No. What about the question, Honorable David Kiblagat? Honorable David Kiblagat.
Yes,
DK.
Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, the chair is not around, so what happens?
No, I take it with a pinch of salt.
Okay, it's okay.
Honorable Speaker, kindly hear me out.
Yes.
When I gave this request for a statement,
Yes.
and the prelude response from the chair was a bit encouraging that time, and the Speaker ordered that when we come from recess, on the first day we come from recess, he will be able to respond to this statement. Now, this is the second week after recess. I've been sitting here purposely to wait for that statement. But now, the reason I'm saying I'm taking it with a pinch of salt is that it seems the chair is not taking my statement seriously. And may I do the imagery of why actually this statement is very clear? Is that I have a teacher in Bwai Primary School. He is 50 years old. He has a TAC number. He has never been employed. And he's just now 10 years to retirement. What makes it worse, he was telling me that last year, another teacher, may I explain so that we understand? Another teacher who is about 24 years old was employed, I don't know to say how, and he has been waiting patiently for 50 years. And when he went that day to sleep, he found himself waking up at 3 a.m. and he cried until his wife told him what is wrong. And he said, how unjust can this society be? So I wish the chair takes that statement very seriously and be able to make sure that they can do the affirmative action so that we have all the teachers who are 45 years and above being employed, watoe jam, so that we can employ the young ones. That's all.
What's your point of information, Honorable? Yeah, you wish to be informed.
Okay.
But in any case, it was on a point of order, so you cannot have a point of information on a point of order.
So maybe I can finalize. I wanted to beseech
No,
you.
but he wants to inform the House something, and the chair has given him.
I think he has given up.
No, he has not given up.
Mr. Speaker, if Honorable Kiblagat accepts, he's aware today there's a change of leadership at the TSC. I am not in any way trying to advocate or talk about the absence or the presence of the Honorable Meli. But today, there's a change of leadership at TSC. The long-serving Commission Secretary, the Honorable Nancy Macharia, has exited today and passed the baton to Evelyn Mitei. Because of the change and taking into account the environment, I'm sure the Honorable Meli, as an astute, good former teacher, is somewhere in that environment trying to make sure that the transition from that good former CEO, Nancy Machari, I'll say good former CEO, to the new CEO takes place, acting CEO, takes place in a friendly, conducive, legally driven, people-friendly, TSC-oriented, teachers-placed, so that teachers all over
Order, Honorable.
can
You made your point.
benefit.
You made your point. The Honorable DK, I direct that this matter be put on the order paper tomorrow. And I'm sure Honorable Mary will understand the urgency and the need and the seriousness of the chair on that matter. Because if he was told that he has to have it on the first day the parliament resumes, and this is the second week, we appreciate that he might be involved in something fairly significant in the teaching fraternity in this country, but nonetheless, he should have the answer tomorrow. Next response is extension of the national power grid from Garissa to Wajir and Mandera counties in northeastern province of Kenya. The Honorable Adam Kenan and the energy, where is the chair of energy? The chair of energy, yes.
I'm here, Honorable
Proceed.
Speaker.
You have the response?
Honorable Speaker, my apologies. We as a committee, I think we also need to take action against the PS who was supposed to have given us this response. And now for the second time again, I don't have. And I wish to plead with the Member of Parliament to give us additional 1 week, and then we can be able to, for both. That is order number under 4 and 5.
And for the response sought by the Honorable Tom Boy, MP for Nyatike?
Yes, also.
And this other one?
I also don't have it.
Are you okay with that, Honorable Kenan, next week?
Mr. Speaker, you know we have waited for 63 years.
Yes.
63 years without connection to the national grid. So waiting for 7 more days is not far-fetched.
This is not a big deal.
The 7 days will come. You can count, Mr. Speaker.
Fair enough, Honorable.
But Mr. Speaker, let me say this. I want to qualify something. Having watched the performance of the different heads of state departments, the PSs, I want to confirm that Honorable Alex Wachira is one of the best performing PSs, and I know under his watch, that region will be connected to the national grid. So as we wait for the answer, I do not want to preempt. I hope and pray that next week, we have waited for 63 years, 7 days, it's not long.
Fair enough. I direct that this be put on the order paper exactly 1 week from today.
But please, Mr. Speaker, as he does that, let me put this rider. And you also come from that region. You understand this. And I know you are not prejudiced. Chairman, under your leadership, and you have chaired the same energy committee in the last parliament. By the grace of God, 2.5 years down the line, you are brought back as the chair, and there must be a reason that has informed. Can you also take it upon yourself that this region called Northern Kenya, which comprises of 70% of the landmass of the Republic of Kenya, is not connected to the national grid, and that should not be considered as a national shame. National shame.
You've made your point, Honorable
Bring
Chair.
that answer.
Are you
Thank you,
willing
Mr.
to give that undertaking now or at another date? I think that you can give now. Give the Honorable Chair of Energy Department the...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mike.
I totally want to agree with Honorable Kenan.
That you give an undertaking.
Yes, I give an undertaking by next week. I'll have that. And I
No,
want
no. You haven't heard his question. He says, can you give an undertaking that under your watch,
Yes, that's where
that
I'm
the
headed
North
to.
is going to be connected to the
Actually,
national grid?
That's why I'm headed to Honorable Speaker.
Great.
That we will be the commitment by this government to be able to
Good
take
to hear that.
the
Good to hear
Northeastern
that.
under national grid.
Both
will be done.
what they call responses 4 and 5 are deferred to next week. The same day today, on an afternoon, on Tuesday afternoon next week. The other one is health. Is the chair of health around? Where is he? Same MP. Okay, these are the challenges faced by teachers and police officers in accessing medical services under medical insurance. This was sought by the Honorable Muchangi Karembo, MP for Runyenjes. Is he around? I know, has he given communication on... let's give the Honorable Karemba MP for Nyenjes the benefit of doubt, because for 3 good days, along with me and the Honorable Chair for JLAC, the Honorable Murugara, we've been holed up somewhere. We were all extremely tired, so I don't know where he is. So this is also deferred to the same day next week. I have to get to labor first before you can rise yourself. Wait. So the matter on Honorable MP for Seme, Professor Nyikal, the one and only, this matter, this response has to be ready on Tuesday next week, afternoon. Yes, the other one is MP Joseph Tonui, MP for Kurisai South. Is he around? Is the chair of Housing, Planning and Urban Development Works, Urban Public Works. Huh? The vice chair is around.
Mr. Speaker, I have the response, but I think
he's not around.
The member is not allowed.
Order, Honorable Vice Chair. Order. The questioner is not, the person who sought the response, the Honorable Joseph Tony, MP for Kurusai, is not in the House, in the chambers, and he has not delegated that responsibility to anybody else to ask what you call follow-up questions. And we'll also give him the benefit of doubt. We don't know what has happened to him. I directed this question be put on the order paper again on Tuesday next week in the afternoon. Please.
Most obliged, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable is the chair for lands in the House. The chair for lands. Sorry. The chair for labor. Is he around? Is he in the House? The chair for labor. The chair for labor. Yes. Honorable Mule, why don't you shout and say yes? You have a mic in front of you. And he's a member of parliament for Nandi County, Honorable Cynthia Muge, also in the House. Madam Cynthia Muge. I also direct this question also to be deferred to next week.
Thank you.
On Tuesday afternoon.
Thank you, Speaker, Honorable Speaker.
I believe let's just be fair to them. And then we have lands. Who is there? Is the chair for lands are in the House? The chair for lands. Osotsi, who is that? Can you take the mic next to you? Is that the Honorable Machau Waidaka? Are you the chair of lands?
Honorable Speaker, I'm the chair for lands.
And the Honorable Machau Waidaka, MP for Kiambu?
Is not around, but I want to confirm to the Honorable House that this statement was answered to on 5th of December 2024. So it's appearing for the second time. I don't know how it came about.
Fair enough. This has got to be expunged now because it has already been dealt with before. Am I right? This matter has been addressed. And the last one is the Honorable Faisal Bada, MP from Sambweni. And the chair for lands, are you in possession of the answer for Honorable Faisal Bada?
Yeah, we'll request for 7 more days. The response to the statement is not ready.
I saw direct that this question be put on the order paper on Wednesday afternoon next week. Now we go back to the old order. We're going back to order number 14.
Order number 14, motion, ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies.
Martha.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move that this House adopts the report of Departmental Committee of Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation, and its consideration on the agreement of fisheries subsidies laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17 April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of Treaty Making and Ratification Act, Cap 4D, approves the ratification agreement of fisheries subsidies. Honorable Speaker, the agreement on fisheries subsidies was adopted at the 12th WTO Ministerial Conference in Marrakesh, Morocco in June 2022. The agreement's main objective is to promote a sustainable fishing by curbing harmful subsidies, protecting marine resources, and ensuring fairness in global fisheries trade. Honorable Speaker, Article 2, Article 5 of our Constitution 2010 provides that the general rules of international law shall form part of the laws of Kenya. And Article 2.6 further states that any treaty or convention ratified by Kenya shall form part of the laws of Kenya under this constitution. Mr. Speaker, the agreement seeks to balance the livelihood of fishing. The agreement incorporates a special and differential treatment provisions, offering flexibility and extended implementation timelines for developing and least developed countries. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, allow me to highlight to members what the treaty is all about. This fishery subsidies, Honorable Speaker, it has several articles. Article 1 of the treaty, Madam Speaker, specifies that the disciplines apply only to marine wild capture, fishing, and fishing-related activities at the sea. Thus, the agreement covers activities such as the onboard processing and transshipping of catch, but excludes the onshore pre- and post-harvest activities such as packaging and processing. The Article 3 of this treaty, Honorable Speaker, prohibits the WTO members from granting subsidies to vessels or operators found to have engaged in illegal and unregulated fishing. This provision is activated upon determination by the coastal state, the flag state, or relevant regional fisheries management organization, or that kind of arrangement. Madam Speaker, the agreement also establishes an institutional arrangement for monitoring implementation. And Article 9 of this treaty creates a committee composed of representatives from each member state. The committee will meet biannually to oversee the operations of the agreement and to review information provided by members at least every 2 years. Madam Speaker, the committee noted that upon ratification, the Kenya would be required to align its laws, the regulation, and the administrative procedures with the agreement. And this includes providing a description of its fisheries regime, citing relevant national laws and procedures within 1 year of the agreement entry into force, and promptly notifying the WTO of any subsequent changes. Madam Speaker, the committee further observed that the Kenya must regularly notify the WTO fisheries subsidies to facilitate surveillance of implementation. Effective stock assessment and the related programs will be key to fulfilling this obligation. Additionally, Madam Speaker, the committee noted that the agreement does not allow the state parties to enter reservations. However, Article 9, Sub-Article 4 of this treaty provides for a comprehensive review after 5 years. This one, Madam Speaker, so that if there is some reservation from a country, after every 5 years, they meet so that they can review. These reviews could result into the amendment based on a practical implementation experience. So, Madam Speaker, this is a treaty for fisheries. And Kenya, Madam Speaker, and especially in this new sector, which is a new economic front, Madam Speaker, we are still new in blue economy. Many countries, they have gone ahead for many years. Many of their revenues they have been getting through fishing. And Madam Speaker, this is a subsidy treaty where countries sign to make sure that the fishing in their countries, either those who are coming in to fish in our country or even those who have the capacity to do a deep sea fishing, Madam Speaker, they are regulated. And then it provides also some subsidies so that as a country, if we have to tap our resources in the deep sea, we have some subsidies for those who want to invest, maybe in terms of taxation and such things or such subsidies, Madam Speaker. So this is just a regulatory treaty, and it has been signed by many countries, especially the countries which are bordering the Indian Ocean and many other coastal lines, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, that is just the input of this, why we need to ratify this treaty as a country, as provided for under our Constitution, Article 2, Sub-Article 6 of the Constitution. And, Madam Speaker, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the members of the committee, because we sat when we received this treaty, we carried out a public participation with the stakeholders. They came, the Attorney General office, which they had to tell us what is the implication of this treaty from the legal perspective. How is it going to affect our existing laws? And they appeared before us because we already have some other laws, like the Kenya Fisheries Act of 2016. We have also the Tuna Commission, which we have signed as a country. So the Attorney General, were in their submission, told us that signing this treaty is going to improve our fishing, and it's not going in any way conflict with our existing laws. We had also a meeting with the Foreign Affairs, Madam Speaker, because this one also touches to many countries. We had there was also the Ministry of Trade, because there is also an input of trade in this treaty. They appeared before us, they gave us their submission, and all of them, they were in agreement. And therefore, Madam Speaker, it's a duty of this House to approve this treaty so that Kenya can benefit from this treaty. So I want to appreciate my colleagues, the members of the Blue Economy and Water and Irrigation who participated, and we worked out together to have this report. I also want to thank my clerks. The clerks attached to the committee, Madam Speaker, they supported us in the drafts of this motion, and also they were with us throughout, taking notes of from all our stakeholders. So, Madam Speaker, I want to move this motion and ask the Honorable Mudhoni, the member for Meru County, to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Dorothy.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, fish farming is a major economic activity in our waters. Honorable Speaker, that is why this agreement today seeks to balance the livelihoods of fishing communities with the need to maintain marine health. Honorable Speaker, it also aims to prevent market distortion by prohibiting subsidies that provide unfair competitive advantages. Specifically, Honorable Madam Speaker, the agreement bans subsidies for vessels engaged in illegal fishing. Illegal and unreported fishing is a major source of unaccounted for revenue. Honorable Speaker, this is the more reason why we should be part of this agreement, so that we can be able to monitor the fishing activities in our waters, and also be able to target the overfished stocks. Honorable Speaker, it is important for us to note that we normally, as countries that invest in fishing, they normally undertake stock taking in the fish, so that, Honorable Speaker, they can be able to know when the fish is overfished, when their stocks is overfished. Honorable Speaker, it is also equally important that we have this agreement, so that we can be able at any one time monitor the vessels that are fishing in our deep seas across countries. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore very important that I urge this House this afternoon to join us in ensuring that we all join in the ratification of this agreement on fishery subsidy. Honorable Speaker, I second.
Very well. I therefore propose that this House adopts the report that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water, Irrigation, and Irrigation on its consideration of the agreement on fisheries subsidies laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act, Cap 4D, approves the ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies. We'll start with Honorable Major Deco, if not in the House, Honorable Nyikao.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support this motion, and that this report should actually be adopted. Basically for three simple reasons. One, our constitution obliges us that once we sign any treaty, we must, once we are involved in international treaty, it must be part of our law. So therefore, it is important to ratify it. Two, Madam Speaker, this seems to be more on deep sea fishing, and I know that this is an area that is dominated by foreigners, and actually there's a lot of infringement of even of our local waters in the pretext that it is actually international waters. So if we actually do not look at these areas and make sure that the fishermen, the local fishermen that venture into deep sea fishing are protected, they will actually be exploited by foreigners. Moreover, Madam Speaker, these people are really very sophisticated, while our fishermen actually don't use as sophisticated equipment as these foreigners. Therefore, if there is need for them to be subsidized, I think within the confines of this treaty, we should support that. The third reason, Madam Speaker, is that it gives me opportunity to address the chair of this department, because, Madam Speaker, locally, in the inland lakes, we actually have a much bigger need, and our blue economy is actually addressing this, trying to improve the fishing, trying to improve the gear that we use, and trying to support our people. And what is happening is actually the fish stocks are dwindling, the gear that are used are actually deleterious to the fish stocks. So they literally catch everything. And this is a big problem, particularly in Lake Victoria. And more, there is a lot of clashes with our neighbors, particularly Uganda, but to some extent Tanzania. And a lot of fishermen are arrested very often, and their gear are actually confiscated and destroyed. So as we protect the deep sea fishing and international waters, we must also look at locally. And as the seconder indicated, fish farming, particularly in the lake, is actually a big area that can be exploited with a big potential. And I think we need to look at it, how we protect them, how we give subsidies in this area. Fortunately, as we have heard, this treaty deals with deep sea fishing, but which means we can actually support and subsidize our local fish farming, which are coming from the lakes. So I think we are likely to get a lot more output from our lakes than even from the deep sea. So as we protect them with this international treaty, let us also look at what is happening locally. So I don't know, it meant deep sea. When you are dealing with Lake Victoria, for example, where we actually have 3 countries that are sharing the lake, does it qualify under this treaty? If it does, then the more reason why we should sign this and see how we can protect our local fishermen. With that, Madam Speaker, I support.
Honorable Owenbaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support my brother and the person who crafted his name from mine, the Honorable Bowen, to support him on this report, Honorable Speaker. The report is on ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies. Honorable Speaker, anything fisheries actually touches on the coast. The coast of Kenya is one of those big fish baskets in this country. And fishermen there have, for many years, been seen as, if you're a fisherman, you're a poor man. You know, there is a kind of a correlation between poverty and fishing. And the communities there have never come out of the cocoons of poverty because of the kind of fishing regime that exists in this country. A fisherman can be a very rich person if properly enabled. But if they're not properly enabled, Honorable Speaker, they end up just doing what you call subsidy fishing, artisanal fishing. Just go out there, get the catch for the family, and sell a few pieces, so that you are just subsisting on it. And a family goes on, and the grandfather was a fisherman, the father becomes a fisherman, the son and the grandson, they all become fishermen, and therefore cannot come out strongly unless probably they pursue another trade. Honorable Speaker, as a country, we need to change this matrix. We need to change this thing. It is hurting families that otherwise would have been richer if we gave them proper fishing gear and gave them a proper legal regime to fish. Honorable Speaker, it will shock you today. A fisherman that goes to sea, when he leaves home with his nets and gets to the beach, he'll be asked, and I want the Honorable Kagogo to listen to this so that he can help fishermen. When he arrives there is somebody from KWS asking him a question. Do you have a fishing license? From Kenya Wildlife Services. Because Kenya Wildlife Services has demarcated some of the places as marine parks. So first he's asked, do you have a license for fishing? When he finishes answering that question, Honorable Speaker, he moves further. The guy from Kenya Fisheries sees him and asks him, do you have a license for this net? Have you paid a license for the net? Honorable Speaker, when he gets into his canoe and wants now to get into the water and start fishing, somebody from Kenya Maritime Authority asks him, do you have a license for this boat? Honorable Speaker, before he even goes further, the Kenya Coast Guard is there asking him, who allowed you to come into these waters? Before he even finishes all that, the forestry people are there asking, how did you make this boat? Did you use a tree? Did you get a license for this tree? There are a plethora of licenses that a fisherman must have. And these licenses, Honorable Speaker, in fact, the other person that will come and ask him is the tourist police. The tourist police will tell him, you're not allowed within these boundaries. Because in here, there are tourists here we must protect. When he finishes fishing and brings the catch, there are people from fisheries telling him, why did you fish this species? This species is illegal, you cannot fish it. Honorable Speaker, the fishermen in this country cannot make money. Fishermen are sleeping hungry, and yet the ocean is a few minutes away, few meters away. They are eating ugali with salt and some vegetable, and yet fish is available there. But it has become very impossible because of the regime that exists, the legal regime that exists that controls fishing, Honorable Speaker. And that is where the problem is, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we ratify this treaty, I want to be sure that the Honorable Kangogo and his team has perused it to see you do not introduce foreign and unacceptable regimes into the fishing community in this country. Honorable Speaker, this Parliament passed the Fisheries Management Act, which was declared unconstitutional. The Fisheries Management Act. In fact, Honorable Kangogo came and asked, so how do we operate? Because we were supposed to pass the regulations and they could not be passed because we adopted some treaties and put them in.
1 minute, wind up.
Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, you are not here. That is the 11th Parliament, which passed the Fisheries Management Act. Oh, you are here? No, okay. So, Honorable Speaker, that law has rendered it so impossible. They introduced something called monofilament net, which cannot be used. Time immemorial, people have always used the monofilament net. They tell you the monofilament net, if it goes under there, it catches the seabed there and it gets cut. And therefore, only one fish will be caught and die because of the remnants of that net there. And therefore, that prescribed monofilament net. They have to go for bigger nets. Government has not provided resources to replace the monofilament net with other nets. They outlawed a lot of fishing gear, traditional fishing gear were outlawed, Honorable Speaker. And the fisherman stands there without a net, without a canoe, and without anything. And yet we say that we want to invest big in blue economy. Honorable Speaker, before we think about the big vessels, before we think about the huge investment in the blue, let's empower the fisherman so that he can take his child to school, so that that fisherman can pay his bills, that fisherman can get food on the table, Honorable Speaker. That is what I ask Honorable Kangogo Bowen's committee. Protect the fisher people. Protect them. Give them resources. Allow them to make a living, a good living out of the sea, Honorable Speaker. That I beg of this House. As we ratify this, Honorable Speaker, I just hope and wish that you have not adopted foreign things that will hinder and hurt the common fisherman. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Honorable Murugara.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support the adoption of the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy regarding this paper, which they have, this report, which they have laid on the table, and which urges this House to ratify the agreement on fisheries and subsidies, which was actually entered into between world nations in Morocco. Again, we repeat that once we ratify this particular agreement, it becomes part and parcel of our domestic law, and it actually binds us, all of us, including our country, vis-a-vis the other signatories when it comes to enforcement. I know very well that we have a treaty-making bill which is pending, and the purpose of this bill is to urge the executive or to compel the executive to be involving this House in the treaty negotiations, treaty agreements, international contracts, so that as the executive goes into this, from step one, time to time, Parliament is informed and involved in what is being done. By so doing, then we would not be caught unawares ratifying an agreement or a treaty whose contents or particulars we are not familiar with. Therefore, that's an important one. Once the bill comes to the House, we will be debating it and trying to pass it. On behalf of Tharaka constituency, Tharaka Nithi County, It's good to inform the country that we got a lot of interest in blue economy, and this is the reason why we have also donated to the broad-based government an expert in a blue economy by the name P.S. Betsy Muthoni Njagi, who comes from Tharaka-Nithi, and she's doing a fantastic job there as the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Honorable Kagogo Bowen would confirm. Therefore, we debate this with a passion, knowing very well that we have an expert there who is going to ensure that it is implemented the way it is supposed to be for the benefit of the Republic of Kenya. The agreement talks about fishing in least developed countries. I thought we stopped using that term, but it shows that these people still believe we are down there in terms of development, and therefore they have to come to our aid, which aid we do accept, provided it has no conditionalities that make it untenable or unconscionable. We have our territorial waters where we do a lot of fishing, but also we are at risk of being invaded by pirates from other countries who come to steal from us our fish, because we are not able to guarantee security along those territorial waters. Agreements like this, including subsidizing fishing, are of benefit to this country, because as we diversify our food security, fish comes in handy. We do not have to go to China to bring in fish whose source is not clear to us. And sometimes we are given interesting stories about plastic fish coming from certain countries. We know the high seas, the deep seas also. There's a lot of wealth down there, but we do not have the resources to go into the deep waters to mine. If this agreement is actually going to assist in the fishing by giving to us the subsidies, it's a welcome development. We should actually agree with it, ratify it, and then prepare our country to mine in the deep sea so that we are able to bring to the shore seafood, which is of great importance and nutrition to our country. With those remarks, I beg to support.
Thank you. Honorable Timothy Kipchumba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak on this very important motion before this House on the ratification of this particular treaty. Honorable Speaker, Kenya is a member of the global community. We have a very progressive constitution in this country. Honorable Speaker, if you read Article 2.5 and 2.6 of our constitution, it speaks to that particular issue in that any treaty that Kenya has ratified becomes part and parcel of the laws of this country. Honorable Speaker, I wish to thank the Kangogo Bowen Committee because they complied fully with the relevant legal provisions insofar as matters to do with public participation is concerned. I have read the report of the committee. It is very clear that they conducted public participation.
Honorable Timothy, if that's your phone, you'll need to put it on silent. Yeah.
I actually was looking for it, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you look at this report by the Kangogo Bowen Committee, they have captured clearly that they conducted public participation. And that is in clear spirit with the provisions of the Constitution, which provides that the people of this country must speak to any document that this Parliament passes. So that when we speak as members of Parliament, we speak for and on behalf of the people of the Republic of Kenya, and we must also get their views before passing any document of this House. So, Honorable Speaker, this document has qualified insofar as the aspect of public participation is concerned. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Mulugara, the chair of JLAC, has raised a very fundamental issue which I wish to associate myself with. And I'm happy that already there is a pending amendment to the Treaty Making and Ratification Act so that matters of public participation must also be conducted insofar as this House is concerned. Honorable Speaker, sometimes we find it awkward when we encounter these documents firsthand at the floor of the House. Honorable Speaker, if you read the way the Treaty Making and Ratification Act is the wording of the particular provisions of the sections of the law, it provides that Parliament has no role actually. Our role is just either to accede as a whole or to provide for some reservations, but we have no say on the documents. So, Honorable Speaker, that bill that the Honorable Murugara has talked about, the amendment bill on Treaty Making and Ratification Act, is very important so that members of Parliament in this House can have a say on these treaties before the chairs of committees bring it before the floor of the House. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I have also read the report of the committee. One is the importance of us as a House ratifying this treaty is that we will guarantee security to our fishermen. Honorable Speaker, many of the times that our fishermen have been harassed in the high seas. So that, of course, affects our fishermen in one way or the other. So it is incumbent upon this House to protect our fishermen because that is an area that we must invest in this country so that we can be able to earn revenue as a country. Honorable Speaker, the report also says that it will promote sustainable fisheries to support food security, poverty alleviation, and the preservation of marine biodiversity. If there is a biodiversity, Honorable Speaker, that we must protect in this country and has been left out in law is the marine biodiversity. So I believe that the ratification of this particular treaty will promote the issue of marine biodiversity in this country, and it will be progressive if we ratify the same as a House so that we can protect that particular diversity. Honorable Speaker, also to provide what we call a level playing field for fishers and fishery-related industries. Honorable Speaker, so that we compete as a global community, so that we progress as a country, we must be part and parcel of the international community insofar as establishment.
One more minute for you, Honorable Kipchumba.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. So that, Honorable Speaker, we become part and parcel of the global community so far as protecting our marine diversity is concerned, or